All right, guys. Let's talk about witchcraft. I want to give a testimony that of an experience that I had with this like psychic. Um, on this was back in this was Halloween night, 2015, and it was very strange and mysterious. And I'll explain why in a minute, but I just want to say real quick that witchcraft and sorcery, God is completely against these things. Like, I've noticed if you guys come across any channels of people doing or even on like Facebook lives, like I've seen there are people that are using like tarot readings to say they're speaking for God, like or like I've seen individuals use like the phrase "the Most High," which is God, but and like they're using that in like tarot readings and stuff, and they're leading thousands astray. Like they're really like popular now, and I know a lot of people who love that stuff, and I did a couple of those things. Like I did a couple tarot readings. It was weird, but and well, I'll talk about that in a second, but I just want to say, like, make sure you're not getting involved with that stuff. Do not go to psychics. Do not go to tarot readings. Or get tarot readings. Don't get by a. I believe they're selling these things at like they're like pushing witchcraft utensils at like Five Below, like a children's store now. Like I know friends that like are like learning how to do it, or I had friends that are learning how to do it. Coworkers. I mean, it's becoming so popular, you know. Uh, and I had no idea that like these things were even like I didn't know tarot reading was even considered witchcraft, and I didn't know God was against witchcraft. There's so many verses in the Bible that explain God is completely against witchcraft and sorcery. But yeah. So Halloween night, 2015, and I live in Virginia, right? And my girlfriend at that time, I was with her and two of her friends. They all went to JMU together, and we were in that JMU's in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and we're from Richmond. But we went to it was Halloween night, and we went to this farm in the middle of like nowhere, which had like a corn maze, a haunted house or two, and it had like zombie paintball, and which was weird. It was basically like some zombie people dressed up as zombies behind plexiglass, and then you get paintball guns and you get to like shoot at them, but they're behind plexiglass, so you don't actually hit them. It was it seemed cooler. It sounded cooler than it is, but anyway, and also I just want to mention, First Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 22, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. Explains that God wants us to abstain from any appearance of evil. So like that's why, and you notice you'll see people, churches celebrate Halloween, and it's a pagan holiday, right? And people dress up as Satan and like serial killers and all kinds of things on that. Like Halloween has got to be Satan's most like favorite holiday for real. But anyway, back to this night. We were leaving when we were leaving this place, towards the exit, we noticed that there was a psychic sitting like in her own little area. It was the most like I've never done a reading before, but it was so mysterious, and it was like I want to just use the word like it looked like legit. Like this woman, it looked very ominous and mysterious. And we were leaving, and they were Elena and her friends were talking about uh, doing the reading. They were like, should we do the reading? Like, and I saw the sign, and it was like $20, and I was like, that's a waste of money. Like, it better be a damn good reading, like for $20, right? And they were sitting there. They were like, "Oh, I want to do a reading. I want to do a reading." So we turned around, right, and we all got up as we got closer to her because she was like sitting at this like desk, and like I said, it was really, it was kind of riveting, like the feeling, like it was weird, but they're all sitting there, and I'm sitting there waiting for one of them to like speak to her, and like we're all like kind of like they're like circled around, and they're like kind of, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like we walked all the way to the car, and then we turned around and came back, like, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, so I walked up to her, and she was like, hello, and she asked if I wanted a reading, and I said yeah, sure. And I sat down, and these three are sitting right in front of me, like in front of the desk, like across from us. And I'm talking. She no, so she had all these like cards and like crystals, and like and she told me to make a wish in my head. This was the like. All right, so she told me to make a wish in my head, right? And I did. And then she told me to tell her my wish. All right. I told her that my wish was I wanted, or I told her my wish was to be successful, and I asked her, uh, or I told her my wish was to be successful, right? And she said, and she started reading these cards, right? And the first thing she said was that I would have three loves in my lifetime. She said the first relationship was she said it didn't work out. She said my first relationship was the first love didn't work out, and that was true, right? And then she said you're currently in your second relationship right now, but you're not happy, and this one's not going to work out. And keep in mind that, and this was true, like, and my girlfriend was sitting right like across from us, right? And she didn't like I never said anything about this to her or like anything, right? But she said that. And then she said the third relationship's gonna last. The third relationship's gonna last. And she said it's your first love and you're gonna go back to her. And she said it's the second letter in her name has an E in it. And this is true, but there's no way in hell that I would ever like go back to my first love. Like I just don't see that. Like I don't feel that, and like there's just absolutely no way. But other than that, like it was true. Like other than that, everything she said was true, right? So then and then she said a few other things that I'm not gonna repeat them because they like I feel like they instilled like a sense of like pride and like a little vanity in me. But they were true as well. And she said something about, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she said something about my eyes, um, and how appealing they were to women. And she said something about my personality as well. But anyways, by the end of it, I asked her, I said, what does any of this have to do with me being successful? And she asked me, was that your wish? And I said, yeah. And she was like, huh. But here's the thing. I lied. That wasn't my wish that I made in my head. It wasn't. And at first I was like, well, this is a waste of $20 immediately when she asked me to say my wish out loud because my girlfriend was standing right there. But what I was thinking was, I wished to have a love like my first one, to be in love as in love as I was with my first love. And I wasn't happy in my second relationship. And I wanted to be, I wished to be as happy as I was in my first relationship. But that was, keep in mind, I was in the world at this time, so like, it's nonsense. And then this was 2015, so we're in 2023 now, and like there's no way. But either way, this is what is like disturbing, like, the fact of how accurate everything was. And I, like, only God can read our minds. But here's the thing, like, if I was an unbeliever at the time, I was in the world, right? I was like a wicked sinner, and I'm doing witchcraft, and there's all these crystals and who knows what else, like tarot cards and other things involved, that like who knows what. And I'm wondering if like it was possible. And I do believe I read a Bible verse about being able to see into the future just a little bit is a gift from Satan. I believe that I read a verse that said something like that, but I can't um, verify that like for sure. But I do believe I saw a verse that said that. Um, but I could be wrong. But either way, like, I'm thinking that I into some sort of agreement or whatever that enabled this woman to, like, get in my head or something. And it was really strange. But that was the only experience I had with a sidekick, like. And um everyone else went after that, and it was so awkward because, like, my girlfriend at that time was like she had asked me, like, she looked so uncomfortable with every word this woman said. And like, I was both uncomfortable and excited because everything she was saying, was what I wanted to hear, but not what Elena wanted to hear. And I was uncomfortable because um Elena was standing right there listening to everything. And at the same time, I found it very interesting that, like, I lied about the wish, and she still answered like the wish I made in my head. And it was weird. It was so odd. Like, man. But I know it was BS. Like, even though it was true, she was just somehow, like, whatever she was saying, like, it was deceptive. The whole thing was deceptive. It was a charade. Like, she didn't tell me anything specifically that nothing she said, you know it wasn't anything that anyone it wasn't legit. Like, I don't know how to explain it. All I can say is that it was like demonic, like. And like, it was nothing like really special about it, aside from the fact that she answered like the wish that I had. Like just the fact alone that even though she was wrong and I would never date who she said I would go back to her, It was just interesting that she knew all that, and she knew I was in a relationship. And like Elaine and I weren't even holding hands walking up to the kiosk or whatever it was. Like it was a huge thing, like a huge thing. But she was sitting in front of a desk, but there was a kiosk behind her and stuff. Like there was like all kinds of things, but like all kinds of weird things. Like who knows what was attached to it? But yeah, it was just like she didn't say anything like give me any specifics that like nothing like spectacular. But either way, it was very strange, and like God, I just want to say that like you know, Jesus is against all that stuff, like, and for very good reason. And it's crazy that this is like the kind of stuff that's being like pushed, and it's getting bigger and bigger, guys. These are some dark times we're living in. I just want to I want y'all to like keep that in mind. Like these are dark times we're living in. Mass deception, lots of witchcraft and sorcery. Like it's like it's bad. And people are coming into agreement with these things every single day. But yeah. Oh, I guess I was reading before I like decided to make that video. I guess I'll read a psalm to you guys real quick too before I end this. Um I'll read Psalm 47. Psalm 47. Yeah. Oh, clap your hands, all you people. Shout to God with the voice of triumph and songs of joy. For the Lord Most High is to be feared and worshipped with all-inspired reverence and obedience. He is a great king over all the earth. He subdues peoples under us and nations under our feet. By the way, nations means people. Like we're all nations. Like we're all the people. Satan invented races and stuff like that. But God considers us nations, people. We're all a collective one nation under God, right? But oh, and what was I had something popped in my head that I wanted to say on top of that. Oh, and to love thy neighbor as thou loves thyself, like that's to treat others how you want to be treated. And your neighbor isn't the person society wants us to think that that's the person who lives next door to us, but our neighbor is literally whoever's standing next to us anywhere we go. Okay? It applies to everyone, everywhere. But anyway, he is a great king over all the earth. He subdues peoples under us and nations under our feet. He chooses our inheritance for us, the glory and excellence of Jacob, whom he loves. God has ascended amid shouting, the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises to our King, sing praises, for God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises in a skillful psalm and with understanding. God reigns over the nations. God sits on his holy throne. The princes of the people have gathered together as the people of the God of Abraham, for the shields of the earth belong to God. He is highly exalted. Amen, right? Anyways, guys, good night. I just wanted to share that testimony. Later.